Thank
Senator
you, Mr.
Grassley?
Chair.
Yeah. You might expect that what you heard me say about whistleblowers, that would be my first question. It's even more important that I ask you this as well as I ask everybody that comes before this committee. But recently, the Attorney General sent a letter to all employees that they're prohibited, and if they want to talk to Congress, they need to go through the Department of Justice Office of Legislative Affairs. That's going to have a chilling effect. So I was hard to read that you told the Associated Press that you want, quote, create an environment where people can feel comfortable coming forward and talking about misconduct. While their efforts should be respected and encouraged, they're frequently retaliated against and ostracized. I often say that whistleblowers are treated like a skunk at a picnic. So as director, do you support the rights of whistleblowers within the Bureau of Prisons to communicate with and provide information to Congress and to do so free of retaliation? If so, tell me how you're going to make it clear to the Bureau of Prison employees that they can do that.
Thank you, Ranking Member Grassley. Of course, I support people coming forward. As I said in my remarks this morning, we have to create an environment where people feel comfortable coming forward, both the adults in our custody and our employees, and not only feel comfortable coming forward as employees, but truly understand their obligation to come forward. So that is certainly something that I support. We have to create a culture to do that. As I visited, one of the 3 institutions I visited was Dublin in California, and you've read the news reports of people not feeling comfortable coming forward, both the women in our care and also our employees. So we are working diligently to do cultural assessments in our institutions, starting with our female institutions, and provide training to our employees to ensure that they understand gender responsiveness, trauma-informed care, and understand that under my watch, under the watch of the executive team, that retaliation both to our employees or those in our custody will not be tolerated.
Attorney General Garland responded to questions from this committee, quote, the Bureau of Prisons advises that it recognizes all verifiable child support judgments, end of quote. A resolution from the National Child Support Enforcement Association reads, quote, many federal inmates earn income from prison employment that could be withheld for payment of child support. However, the Bureau of Prisons has taken the position that current law doesn't allow them to do so, end of quote. Please describe how the Bureau of Prisons handle child support judgments. Specifically, does the Bureau of Prisons allow prisoners with the ability to pay based on their accounts at the prison to deny complying with child support judgments?
Thank you, Ranking Member Grassley. In addition to the restitution collection that we talked about earlier, many inmates participate in the Bureau's Inmate Financial Responsibility Program. This is a program that benefits victims of crime, but also promotes financial responsibility for all court-ordered payments. The IFRP ensures that sentenced inmates develop a financial plan for meeting court-ordered and other legitimate financial obligations, including, in many cases, payment to victims or children through child support. So our employees are assisting those in our custody in developing that financial plan for meeting their obligations, both at initial classification and then at subsequent program review meetings. You are correct, Senator, that the department doesn't have the authority to withdraw those funds. That has to come through a court order, and we do work with the U.S. Attorney's Office to make that happen. Like I said earlier, we are working on a rule to modernize the Inmate Financial Responsibility Program, and we expect that that proposed rule will be released in the coming months, which, among other things, we hope standardizes and increases the amounts of money that will be used to pay down restitution, child support, and other debts.
Director Peters, misconduct in the federal prisons has been a significant problem. We've all seen stories of sexual abuse, contraband, drug dealing, violence, and more. Part of the problem is that each facility appears to be an island unto itself without much accountability up the chain of command. We saw at the Federal Correction Institution in Dublin, California, for example, how even the warden was accused of being involved in sexual abuse and lying. We need to know how that kind of thing could happen. So I've got several questions, but I can only ask you one now. What mechanisms do you have in place to ensure that you get accurate and reliable information about poor conditions, misconduct, and criminality at federal prisons?
Thank you, Senator. Again, we take allegations of sexual misconduct very seriously. Having just visited the Dublin facility in California, I do have great confidence in the new warden there and her leadership as she rebuilds that executive team and rebuilds that team throughout the institution. That being said, we have already put some things in place to improve that communication flow that you're referring to, up to and including the director. It started with clear expectations of my executive team that there will be no surprises. We have to know, I have to know, headquarters needs to know when there are things that are not working, when there are allegations of misconduct, we have to be informed. We also have just recently gotten approved a new organizational restructure that actually is going to allow what I believe more accountability and our ability from headquarters to better hold folks accountable and be more informed. In addition, we are reorganizing our Office of Internal Affairs. Those individuals responsible for conducting investigations in the field traditionally reported up to the warden. We're changing that so that they are reporting up to central office, to headquarters. Furthermore, we just approved 40 additional positions in the Office of Internal Affairs, both on the investigation side and on the employee labor side, to hopefully get rid of the backlog of cases that we have right now, make them more streamlined, make them more efficient, and hold people accountable in a more swift and sure fashion.
Thank you, Senator Grassley. Senator